Hello friends, and welcome to the video. This is the first in a series on time. The second I released yesterday, which may not be yesterday in your timeline, but it doesn't matter because it's all available in the now on YouTube. Now, we're going to look at this idea of a timeline, this conceptual little drawing that we have in our head of a line, a spatial line, and we're flowing along it from the past, from when we're born, to our doom at the end. When we see time like this, it gives us a feeling of, many sorts of feelings, I'm sure you know. Hopelessness, worry, helplessness. And is this really what is here? Yes, it's a nice little drawing that we have in our heads, but is this really what's going on? We're going to look at that. And when we often talk in non-duality about the present moment, kind of coming from Eckhart Tolle, well, not really coming from him, I'm sure, around long before him, but this power of now, being the present, even the idea of the present moment is a time word. Now is a time word. And we're going to look for something deeper than that. In fact, we're going to look for our presence, in which all the concepts of time arise. In order to do this, we're going to look at something from phenomenology. So phenomenology is this exploration of your experience. And there's an idea of retention and protention. So in order to do this, I'll illustrate it with this sound. So listen. Now, do you recognize it? There might be people who don't, depending on what culture you come from. But that's actually got a name. It's called shave and a haircut, 2 bits. In England, it's not famous. I didn't know that until I looked it up. But in England, it's called shave and a haircut, 2 bob. So bob is some money that we had in the past before I was born. And 2 bits is also money in America. They actually have a version in Mexico, but it's obscene, so I'm not going to mention that. But if you want, you can look it up on YouTube. On Wikipedia. Got the wrong platform there. Now, listen again. You've got this feeling there of leaning into the future, this feeling of anticipation. And that is here with you. You might have even heard the sound in your head of the final 2 knocks. And the only reason why you had that experience is because you were given the whole thing in front of you, to you as a whole. If we heard things like flowing through time and the present moment is just a tiny slice, that non-music wouldn't work. The only reason why music works is because we have this retention of the apparent past and the future, the thing that gives us the satisfying feeling of when the chords go back to, the chord, I can't remember what it's called now. The tonic, is that the right word? If you know music theory, tell me in the comments. So when it goes through the chord progression and it goes back to the first one, and there you get it. And that's because you're waiting for that. And if it has a 7th chord just before the end, it increases the anticipation. All this is present to you as a whole. This retention and protention is there. We're not saying that time has got parts even. This is one whole that you experience. It is something that as you experience it, you are outside of it. You are prior to this time, this kind of very close center that we have here. We'll listen to it again. Now, why did you anticipate the last two knocks? Why were the last two knocks satisfying for you? Why did that complete the cycle? It's not international. This is, it might be now, but it came from, I think, 17th, 18th century. I think the 18th century, it was made popular in vaudeville. And we had Looney Tunes, the cartoons, and then later Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is a big theme in that. It's a cultural thing. We've been conditioned to expect that. And it's all very well if it's just two knocks. But this happens every day, where we are presented with this, and the last two knocks aren't two knocks. They are a feeling of longing, or the kind of thing that Buddhists try to get rid of. Some aversion to a future, or some attraction to a future that will make you unhappy. This fear of what might happen. And because we are flowing along this imaginary timeline, this conceptual timeline, it's all something that we are like in a car that's heading towards a wall or a tree. But that's not what's happening. In our experience, it's all here as a whole, presented to us, given to us, and in us. We are prior to any of this. In the next video, or in the last video, if you're time traveling here, we're going to look at how it's not even as simple as that the time, the past, the future, it's actually all interwoven, the present in the future, the present in the past, and the past in the present in the future, and the future in the past. And it's got all these feedback loops. And it's explored beautifully by T.S. Eliot in his poem, Four Quartets. We're going to look at the first part. So, and then we're going to look at how in later videos, we're going to look at how narratives are built, how the separate self is built, and how this leads to suffering, and how when we look directly at our direct experience, this is really not what's here. What's here is this presence, this open presence, where things arise, not in parts, not fragmented, but as a whole. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.